What's going on, guys? Back again. My last video showed you that I changed my front shocks, not the shocks, the springs on the front. And when that happened, the front end came up a little bit. So I said I was going to raise the back end to level the car out a little bit. So that's what I'm going to do today. And on the brackets that I had on it, I took to a machine shop and showed them problems that I was having with it. And I'll show you guys the problem that I had with it and the solution, which they agreed on, that I suggested and they suggested too, right back. So, and I'll show you what the process is about doing that. You probably guys already know it's a 4-link underneath here. I have a QA1 shocks on here. Here's the brackets I'm trying to modify. You can tell the difference here. So there's a shadow. But the hole is closer to here, to the edge, than up in here. It's got a lot of thick metal up here. What I did is I grinded it down to make it match this side also. I think it's the only way it's going to work. Okay, this is the problem that I had with it. There's the right brackets here. Yeah. So they run like this here. So what I had them like this, and then they mounted to the shock like that. Well, you can see all the room that it had above here, right in this area. They weren't hitting on the shock at all because these holes were offset drilled closer to this side. Now I had a bunch of metal on this side here. I'll flip back around for you. But I had a bunch of metal on this side that came across like that, real thick. So what they told me when I had it this way, I had it up on the last notch up here, they said, well, I said I want to raise my ass end up. So they told me to flip the brackets around. So when you flip the brackets around, that metal it wouldn't let in line with the bolt hole right here. It wouldn't go in line. And it kept hitting on the shock here, the thick metal. So they told me to, so I said, can I grind it down? Grind this down. So they agreed to. They said, yeah. So that's what I did. I grinded the metal down. So now, when you stick it up here, you got a gap right here, and this top piece right up here. So that's the dilemma that I had. I don't know why they make it like that. They didn't know either. They thought that you could do it. You could flip it around until I showed them the brackets, and then they opened another box there at the shop. And he said, I don't understand that. I don't know why they done that. And I'm like, well, I don't know either. I'm not an engineer. I don't know. But hope modifying didn't mess anything up. I mean, it's just holding the shocks. And I know the shocks play a big part when it squats, but we're going to see. Because that's the only way. And he didn't suggest buying other brackets. So that's the way I'm going to do it. And let it fly. So, but it's hard to do, but it's got a spacer here. And this goes on the outside. It fills in the gap in between these two here. So it's kind of hard to do one-handed. I know I see a lot of guys on YouTube always do that. But anyway, that should raise it up because I had it where I had it, I believe where I had it was right here. So the shock was right about here. So if I flip it, and I say if I mount it down here, and about right here, I want to raise it up a lot. So I'm going to raise it up about an inch. That's about all I want to do. So if it was here, if I bring it down about right there, that's going to be about an inch, inch and a half. Maybe even, yeah, it'll come right about there, about an inch and a half, yeah. So I want to put it way down here. So I think that's where I'm going to put it in at. Yeah, I think that looks good. Like I said, I think I was about right here. So yeah, so to get this to line up, I'll just take the jack right here. I'll jack it up, bring it up, it'll meet. So get the bolts on. Like I said, the bracket goes on the outside of that. So what I always try to do is just like that there. Don't want to do that, do I? As I said, it's starting to get there. It's kind of hard to do it with one hand, but that's the way I've always done it. Normally I do transmissions by myself too, so the same way. There you go. And I'll grab a hold of the transmission like this, and then I'll use my leg to jack it up. So I'll just kick the handle with my leg. That's the way I've done it on the couple 350 turbos I've had in the car. Done it that way. It's a pain, but I get it done. Now I run a two-speed power glide in it now, so it's a little bit lighter of a transmission, but still, that's the way I do it. And I've always done it by myself. I always say if you want something done, do it yourself. Oh, here we go. And I just don't ever face this towards the tire. I try to keep where nothing's gonna get in its way. So that's it. And I'll just tighten everything up, and I'll repeat the process on the other side, and that's it. Like I said, oh yeah, I don't know if you see way back in here, but these are Ford 9-inch ends right here that I had welded onto the car, or to the rear end actually. And like I said, that local speed shop that does it. I'll try to get back in there with that light. Right in there. It's kind of hard, but right there. Yeah. I had those, and the disc brakes on the back. So I had those welded on when I had the rear end. They done all the welding on the rear end for me here, as you can tell. Not that, I don't know, when I got the rear end it was like that. This crappy weld right here, I guess it's just extra to hold the tube in. When I got the rear end it was like that. They didn't fix it and they let it go, but man, he did beautiful welds through here, over on the other side, over there on the ends. Man, beautiful welds. I could never weld like that, but he did a real good job. I do have Flowmaster mufflers on it. I do have a spool. This is a spool, 488 gears in the back.